Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me, AliFazal. It's such a pleasure. And of course, the big question about Mirzapur 3 has finally been answered. It's going to be here July 5th, and you are back as Guddu Pandit. What's it like? Because I think you've lived with this question. When is the next season coming for the longest time?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we get a little bit of breather around the time it's releasing, that people
Yeah,
stop finally asking that question, but it just behaves like its own little, monster. Um, just has its own following, has people coming in, keeping it alive through all of these, months and years. So yeah, it's just suddenly, but it reminded how excited we should be,
yeah.
every time.
But always very tough to get back into Guddu's shoes, right? Because he's such a beast. And he seems to be even more feral this time, right?
Yeah, it's a bit of a yeah. It's a very it is hard. Sometimes. I mean, I suppose it's hard when I'm doing the physical prep
Yeah,
and to be able
very
to
tough.
then yeah, to be able to recall that the muscle memory of all of that. The 2 seasons. I suppose that was hard, and also leaving it enough space to evolve into something. Um, this time, the more manic the character goes, uh, the harder it is to navigate, right? You don't have a set rhythm, you don't have a certain personality, but it's almost like 3, 4 different, um, uh, how do you say, narratives joining in one, joining all together and making something out of that. So that was hard, um, but fun at the same time. I mean, I have to keep it uh, interesting for me and childlike for me to not get
Yeah.
bored.
And Guddu himself is childlike. And as he says, I think in the trailer, he himself doesn't know what he's going to do right next. He surprises himself often. So you have to keep
Yeah.
that alive when you're inhabiting him, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. Which is why I suppose, and it's really sweet, the writers and Guru himself, they always try and keep a little bit of a open end to most of Guru's, scenes where I'm supposed to make decisions or I'm supposed to act out, or especially the action sequences, not because of me being some tantrumy star and saying I want it this way, but I suppose leaving that gap for itself to just you know for it to fill in on its own, and hopefully.
So is
Uh,
there a lot of improvisation you have to do, Ali? Or you end up doing?
no, I don't like doing improvisations, but sometimes, I mean, I'm not a fan of that. I feel even improvs require, because improvs require a lot more focus than what is understood. Uh, um, I like sticking to the structure and the script the way it's done. But in these situations, we have to sometimes, and when the reactions are unpredictable, in case of this character Guddu, sometimes there are improvs that have gone on for really long.
Really?
But we've kept them, yeah. But we've kept it tamed. I like, yeah, I don't like going on and on just randomly. As long as it's within that context, it makes sense. But yeah, there's so many. I'm sure your conversation with Gurmeet will be much more fun when it comes to the improvs in the entire season, because there's been a lot of there has been.
So there's the two aspects, Ali, the physical and the psychological, which you really have to get back into. Talk a little about both, because just building up that bulk and then losing it, building it up again, does a lot. It leaves a lot of stress on your body and mentally also, I think. How do you do that?
Uh,
I know it's
no,
called acting, but
no, the body is, in fact, you're right, and I really hope one day people start talking about this more, especially men. We put ourselves under immense stress,
immense stress.
And God forbid, if I may say, people who are into the cosmetic side of it, pumping and steroids and whatnot, it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Um, um, I I have almost sworn to be as natural as I can. So for me, this physical transformation is maybe, I don't know, 10, 15, 20% of this capital. Because the rest of it is all it's all psychological. It's all in the
Yeah.
mind
Yeah.
and mannerisms that. Sorry, I have bad allergies today. I'm just woken up with. Okay.
See, this is what I'm saying. You don't know in what way the body reacts to some things. It could react to it 4 or 5 months later, and you don't realize what you've put
Yeah,
yourself through,
yeah,
And
yeah.
there's a
And
certain,
people go
then you
crazy,
also,
and
yeah.
yeah,
And then you
even
also
people
become a
working
sort
out.
of, yeah, you also become a sort of thin up for that kind of body. And,
Yeah,
people expect you to be like that forever, or expect you to give them tips or whatever. How it's a tremendous responsibility as well.
I mean, what I've tried to do this season is actually a bit of a risk. Uh, we sold this guy as somebody who's bronze, who's all
Yeah,
big and who's
great.
hulky, right? And slowly, what I did was in season two, we kind of using the story, and the story obviously came first. I just took advantage of it. Sorry, I just took advantage of it, and I kept him away from, we kept him away from the alpha,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, and the anger played along, right? He wasn't the gym going guy, and then in season three is where he's totally lost the buzz, and we've tried to justify it, and also not emphasize on it. It's just it comes and goes, and hopefully people won't notice, because I think the show and the characters so much more than that. People are so
yeah,
much more than that. And it's about time we understand that we're putting our bodies under so much stress as actors.
yeah.
Character ki to dunya alag hoti hai, so he can, I'm sure
Right.
that's their lives that they live, and we have to show it a certain way. But yeah, yeah, I really hope we don't have to be going crazy after these body transformations. I think it's just
Yeah,
a
it's
very small
really.
part.
Yeah, I don't know how you manage that. But also tell me a little, Ali, about inhabiting this guy who seems to have become. Has he become more impulsive, or is he learning to control his impulses now? Is he learning to handle power?
Yeah, I think there is that sense of laziness to when that was there before, to just use your brains. And it's the same
Right.
family. It's a very
Yeah.
smart family, actually. He's the only one who was sort of just into, your bodybuilding and
Yeah. Yeah.
playfulness and this kiddish innocence. Slowly starts to realize that he can use his instincts and nurture them and use them wisely, and the outcomes actually are in his favor. Of course, along the way, there are other tricks that are being played, and then yeah, that's where the manicness creeps in. But those, I think I will leave for the show to unravel. I think
Yes, of
it's a,
course.
it's a, it's
Looking
a
forward to
very,
it.
yeah, it's an understated layer. It's not. Yeah, I really hope we can drive the point home. I haven't seen any of it, um, but I'm hoping it. Excuse me, sorry, it's my wife,
We are going to
very
have a lot
pregnant.
of all this later once your child arrives as well.
Yeah, I'm getting used to that. Yeah.
So, Ali, there's this franchise, and then there's the Fukre franchise as well.
Yeah.
Your life sort of seems to be dominated by these two. Of course, you do a lot of other work as well, but these two seem to have, really taken away your life. That's a very different kind of franchise, but again, you have to get back to getting into that skin as well, no?
I mean, I wasn't part of. the third installment.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah, I'd gotten busy, but yeah, I mean, it's sweet.
I'm sure you'll come
It's
back
one of
for
those.
four.
I hope. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Let's hope. Whenever that's made. Um, these are exciting worlds and very two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
I don't mind as long as the time allows. Last time the time didn't. I was busy with Vishalji's film at the time, and yeah, I look forward to it.
that again was a very intense performance, and I mean, it was quite disturbing as well. I don't know how
Yeah,
you ended up with that. How did it affect you? It was a very disturbing film, I thought.
Kufia.
Yeah, of course.
It's a true story. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, true story. But I know that these stories exist, but it's
Yeah, yeah.
crazy to
They
see
do.
it on screen.
It's darker actually. I mean, it, yeah, yeah. They're there. People out there.
The other aspect of this, Guddu, Ali, is the language. And I know you've struggled with that as well. I think you've talked about it in the past that it's not, the language is not something perhaps that uh, you agree with, especially when young boys start to imitate you.
No, only
How do you, yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's always been my
yeah,
first go-to
yeah,
problem. That we have to start becoming a little responsible in the houses that
right,
are watching
yeah,
these shows. Um, we take out the time to celebrate birthdays every year. We make a huge hue and cry about it. So I'm sure it's easy to just keep a check on kids under 18. That's it. So
just don't let
I,
them, just don't expose them to this as much as you can. Of course, you can't help it. There's a world
yeah,
out there that will still interfere.
but there's
Mm.
also a world out there that is helping it and that is controlling it, in other parts of the world.
Yeah,
And I think it is possible. I think we just have to be a little more responsible. वो सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हम पे आ जाती है कि आप लोग ऐसे गालियां देते हो, आप लोग ऐसे बनाते हो, आप लोग तो हम फिर कुछ बनाए नहीं क्योंकि हर चीज में किसी किसी एक नुक्ते में कोई ना कोई बुरा मान जाता है।
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल।
इट्स इट्स ओपिनियनेटेड वर्ल्ड। तो हम एक चीज बनाएंगे, दूसरी चीज किसी और को कुछ और ही बुरा लग जाएगा। So that is a zero sum game. So I really hope that the same viewers who are viewing international content at the same time, in the same breath, they are having issues with ours, um, can maybe be a little more responsible. That's it. I mean, but I just hope that doesn't land wrong. Sometimes I say things that people take offense to. I just hope we can all
That
be a
so,
little more responsible as viewers. Yeah.
Ali, you cannot help giving offense to some people all the time in this country,
Again, yeah, same
as
logic.
you very well know. But tell me, how is it an exciting time for you as an actor? Because you also have an international career which keeps coming and going. How is that happening? And then you've also turned producer. Girls Will Be Girls is a wonderful film. I just got the opportunity to see it. So there's
Oh,
a lot.
where?
Shruti sent me a screener, so I got
Oh,
to see it.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
there's a lot happening in your world. How would you, and of course your own personal changes as well. How do you sort of sum it all up? If I were to ask you, what is this time that Ali Fazal is living through, personally and professionally?
Enriching. Very enriching. Um, I'd like to say I'm happy in a happy part of my life. As an actor, there's some really, really exciting films I'm excited about. Looking forward to. I just wrapped up Anurag Basu's film. There's Mr. Mani Ratnam's, and which is still
You're in
happening.
Thug Life as well. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Lucky you, yeah.
yeah. So we just
You're
finished
with,
the One Scared with Me, but yeah, it's a lot of us, quite a few of us,
yeah, I
a
know,
good bunch.
but how lucky to be in a money film. How is it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally, totally. It's amazing. मतलब, I, I couldn't have asked for more. I mean, we just shot like One Scared. I think I'm more excited about rejoining the whole team next month, next to next month. When
Where?
I don't know. I think somewhere in Chennai, Delhi. We shot
Acha.
in Delhi
Okay,
last month.
nice.
Early May we shot in Delhi, and
Best time of the
yeah,
year. What
yeah, it was
wonderful
horrible.
time.
It was very hot. uh,
And you're
and
in Metro and they know as well, right? With
yeah,
Vasu.
yeah. We have one story. Fatima and me are doing one. Um, yeah, and a couple of more, but I'm really excited. It's a good, interesting time. Yeah.
And in terms of web series, Guddu Pandit is not going to leave you.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons I just couldn't find myself doing another show after Mirzapur.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, that was, it's a lot. It's a lot.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, Ali, and then I'll wrap it up, is this, the way you use language. I love that because your Hindi can be so beautifully Lucknowi. And then you, there's this other sort of more brusque kind of Hindi that you use in Mirzapur, but both have a certain rhythm to them, which I really love listening to, except the expletives. But talk a little about the way you speak Hindi. It's so beautiful, and I know that you went to a boarding and a very posh boarding, and I guess uh, sort of English was the first language or whatever. But you've retained your Lucknowiness in many ways, have you?
Yes, जरूरी था. बहुत जरूरी है आजकल भी
और
और
जो आपका
I
वो
think it should
ad
be.
भी है जो आपने किया है for the Ahab, right? It's so lovely.
Yeah.
I
That's a
love
small
it.
little chicken curry brand that we've launched,
Yeah, right.
and we're really excited. It's very, baby steps, but
Yeah.
we're excited about some really cool
I'm
designs.
excited. I
Um,
love the way you shot it and the language and the andaz of it.
that was we collaborated with this boy Maruf. He's very good, Maruf Coleman. He does a lot of very interesting editorials in Lucknow.
Okay.
So it was some interesting people coming together and some ideas from
Sorry.
Richa and all of us.
Right. Sorry. The
But
question was about the language. Yeah.
yeah, the uh, like I said, जरूरी है, I don't think हम इतना उस पे, how do you say, हम तवज्जो दे पाते हैं on language, on modulating voices, on just being able to work with accents. Um, yeah, I personally enjoy that. I think it's very important. I realized that I was not the best singer a long time back. और उसके लिए मुझे मतलब अब मैं धीरे धीरे रियाज कर रहा हूँ, मैं सीख रहा हूँ. But I was not. So I thought, well, maybe I should, we're actors. We should know how to sing. We should know how to
Yeah.
dance. We should know how to everything. Um, so I just worked on my voice as much as I can. I could. तो वो जहां
And
जहां मैं यूज कर पाता हूँ, I still have मतलब I issues with a lot of things I can't crack.
you work with a diction coach on Mirzapur?
No, I think Puneet Krishna, who's the creator of Mirzapur, he himself kind of became the diction coach for everybody because he's so good and he knew that belt very well. तो उसकी रग रग से बिल्कुल मतलब वाकिफ थे.
Okay.
ही कुड टेल यू मात्राएं कहाँ करेक्ट लगती हैं मिर्जापुर में और वो अलग हो जाती हैं एज यू मूव अवे फ्रॉम दैट बेल्ट and into Bihar or into this side, UP side, Lucknow side. So that really helped, and that kind of stuck with me.
Have you retained your connection with home or has it slowly become weaker over the years?
Oh no, I go every month. I mean, my grandmother's there. My
How
mother
old is
used to be
she?
there. She's closing in on 90. Yeah,
Wow.
88, I think. Yeah, 89.
I know your mother
Yeah.
passed on recently, right? That was quite a big loss, I think. But you go home every time that you can.
Oh yeah, it's my family. Her brother, my mamu, Omani, their kids, my cousins. They're all there. in my grandmother's house. So yeah, that's a sort of a sense of family. I grew up there. My father was always away, so I've never really been with him. Mum was here in Lucknow. So I grew up with these guys.
Wonderful. It's always such a pleasure to talk to you, Ali. And I really do believe that, you're one of the finest, one of the most understated actors in the industry. And it's so nice to see you doing so well and Richard doing so well. So I congratulate you and to the new production as well.
Thank you. We need that.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Nice talking.
Thank
Bye.
you, Kaveri ma'am.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.